When I look at this country, I see a country that has opportunity to be the best country in the world. When I run in Kenya, I see the reality. I see what I need to do. When I run past those kids, I see how they're suffering. When I run past those bad roads, all those things that needs to be fixed, that needs help, it gives me motivation to really do what I do at the best of my ability.
The real world is starting to kick in here as the quest for some of the huge prize money, $150,000 to the winning athlete, begins to, I think, waste through their mind here.
Kenyans are so deep that they could send 90 three-men teams to the Olympics. Levi Matebo has pulled away. And now it looks as though Matebo has the scene all to himself.
But you know, gaining on him from behind has been Wesley Korir. And Wesley and Matebo now are virtually stride for stride. That is Wesley Korir on the right, the taller man.
That image of the Boston Marathon, that image of me passing that guy the last 800 meters, I glanced at him once, but I just saw the frustration and the pain in his face because somebody has been working so hard for 41.2 kilometers. You know, it's just the last 800 meters, and then somebody just comes and passes them.
The view here today was that it was going to be Matebo's day. All the pictures seem to point in that direction, except this one, where Wesley Korir wins the 2012 Boston Marathon.
Coming down that stretch and crossing that finish line was pretty amazing. It's an amazing experience. That name of a Boston Marathon champion is a name that will stay with you forever, and nobody will ever take away.
I have no doubt that there's a huge difference in the cultural and psychological approach to running among the Kenyans. In North America, it's a marginal activity. It's a profoundly different thing in a culture like Kenya, where running isn't on the margins, it's in the center.
You can look at all the different potential explanations. You know, is it genetics? Is it altitude? Is it running to and from school? It doesn't really matter. The result is there are so many successful Kenyan runners that the average Kenyan runner believes that he or she is destined to win the next race that he starts.
That's why the Ethiopian, the Kenyans, and the people, the one they have not just a hard life when they were a child. It looks like a hard life, but it's a part of training. It's a part of running.
Over the course of human history, there are always these places where there are kind of clusters of excellence. Philosophy in Germany in the mid-19th century, steelmaking in Sheffield, the Renaissance in Italy. Whenever human activity moves to the center of any kind of community, greatness is possible in a way it's not when you're marginal.
Many of particularly the athletes, come from rural peasant farming backgrounds where nature plays a big role in your day-to-day life. It determines a lot of things about you. You wait for the rains to plant, you wait for the sunshine to harvest. So you are somebody who is very much in touch with the now in your life.
I come here to Kenya for 6 weeks in the wintertime and train with some of the best guys in the world.
Me and my brother moved here 7 years ago to see if living here and training here would take us to the world stage.
A lot of these guys have had hard lifestyles. It's not the normal lifestyle you'd have over somewhere else.
That's why I think a lot of the Kenyans can get through a lot of pain, because if they don't do well in a race, they're not feeding their families. If I don't do well in a race, well, it doesn't really matter. I just go on to the next one. And I think you have to be highly motivated and really want to get through that pain.
When you've struggled and suffered, you find yourself asking a lot of questions, and you find yourself believing and having faith and a lot of hope that there's something around the corner, to give you a better life.
I don't think people know how dangerous it is to run at our level and run that fast in our level. It's beyond beyond our human capability. Just don't wake up a day and train and just expect to win a race. You have to do so many long runs. You have to get so injured. You have to get so sore to achieve that. Few people achieve it because they have been able to overcome the soreness and the injuries and the pain and the sacrifice to achieve those goals.
Wakati alikuwa mtoko, ulikuwa ukijaribu akifanya makosa, ukitaka kushika, anachomoka na utamshika tena.
My mom would send me to go buy stuff in the market, and I'll go there fast, I'll run there fast. When we were out of school in the evening, me and my cousins would challenge each other on who is going to get home quick, and I would beat them all. When it came to running, I always beat them. I felt like I am worth something.
Huyo mtoto alipokuwa na miaka 12 na kuna store tulikuwa tumechenga na tulikuwa tumeweka mahindi na nyoka ikakuja ikakaa kwa hiyo store, na yeye alipoingia kwa hiyo store nyoka ikamuuma, na tulipojaribu kupeleka hospitali, kufika barabara tukakosa gari, tukakaa kwa mta kupata gari, tukafika kwa njia na akaaka. Na wakati huyu alipolala alisikia uchungu sana, na akaona kama tungekuwa na gari huyo mtoto angepona.
I think this place was very important. It was a quiet place, the sound of that water, the sound of the birds. Also, it provided me a place, a sanctuary, that I used to come and really sit here when everything out there seemed so hard.
He didn't run so much. He was not a top-class runner. He had a number of challenges. First, he didn't have the basic training facilities. He didn't have maybe training shoes or running shoes whenever there are competitions. But he had the basic talent in running. He was training with people who are experienced and people who, when you race against them, they would always make you look like you're nothing. Because they are champions. And you can imagine trying something with a champion, you will always lose hope. Nothing would stop him. When I told him of the possibility of getting a scholarship, he was excited in the first place, and he committed himself to that scholarship.
At that time, running was just about getting through school, getting my degree. A lot of people, and running was everything for them, but to me, running was just a piece of the puzzle. As a freshman, sophomore, and junior, I had side jobs. I was hired to do maintenance. I would fix toilets, light bulbs, everything that breaks in the students' housing. So I would fix them. So that's where all the money went, back to Kenya. Helping my family, helping my relatives, helping my neighbors and other people that needed help.
He fascinated me just because he wasn't the typical American or Canadian, and he thought about things differently than other people did. And I think the fact that we were both international students in the American setting was maybe part of what kind of initially drew us together too.
She came for a recruit visit in Louisville, Kentucky.
What do you think?
I thought she was really cute. And I thought she was really fast.
What do you mean we're going on a cool down?
I had an eye on her. I wanted her to be my girlfriend, my wife. So I wanted to impress her a lot. So every time we went to a race and she was there, I would try to run better, knowing that Tara was cheering at me and seeing me. That push of always wanting to do better for her, to like me, was behind my head all the time when I was running and training.
This is what's been unleashed in Kenya. Ethnic warfare at its most basic and most brutal.
Here is Wesley, who had come back from the United States to come and just greet his parents and go back. And it was only me and him in the house trying to fight for our lives, because now I was telling Wesley, we have no vehicle here. Houses are burning. Even the house next was burning. So I was telling Wesley, now it appears we've come to the end of our lives.
There was a rich person next door. I had the best house in that area. This person had built this house for years. She had spent all her entire savings trying to build this nice, modern house. It just disappeared to the ground. Two-story house, and in 30 minutes, the house was ashes. And there it was. Like, just at that moment, I realized what is really that God wants me to do in this world. It is not material things. When I left Kenya, I remember very well telling my cousin, I'll never come to Kenya. I remember when I landed here, I was like, oh, I'm home at last. My mind before that, Kenya was home. When I came back, that's when I started applying for my permanent residency, become a citizen of America. And after that year, when all those things happened to me that year, when that awakening came to me, when I connected my spirituality with my running, I changed. And my relationship with my coach changed completely. Coach moved from being an ordinary coach, who I see him in practice, to a person that spiritually guides me. At that time, everybody was going to the army. All the Kenyans that we graduated together. My roommate had signed up for the army. So I had two options: sign up for the army, the US Army, or go running.
We all knew that his best days in running were going to be ahead of him in marathoning. And the key was convincing Wesley the 5,000, 10,000 were really too short of distances for him, that he was born to be a marathoner.
Wesley Korir, some people would say he's running a little out of his depth right now, but the fact of the matter is we don't know how good a marathoner he is. This is only his second marathon, and he's looking very comfortable at this point.
You and I have both seen him
go through the NCAA college ranks at University of Louisville. Are you amazed that he's holding this pace?
Oh, this is just so great for a career. Again, he's a 13:40 5K runner who did very well at the NCAA, but was never the NCAA champion. And for him to be on 2:08 pace this late into a major marathon, the LA marathon, it just outshines anything he did at the collegiate level. He looks so comfortable, so in control, and what a smart race he ran.
Out of Kenya, it is Wesley Korir capturing his first Los Angeles Marathon, Tony, the time, 2:08:23.
A new course record by Wesley Korir. He unofficially, with the car's value, is going to make $189,000 today.
I think LA Marathon was definitely the best moment of my life. I just graduated from college, from a poor family in Kenya, and just thinking about $200,000. That is just amazing, and still amazing. The common denominator of why Kenyans are good is because Kenyans are running out of something. They're running away from something, and they're running away from poverty.
They're running, I'd say, to provide a lifestyle, change their lifestyle for their family. Somewhere in there, there's a large money drive.
A lot of the Kenyan athletes who make money, they start living such plush lives where they get soft and they stop training hard.
And you see a lot of Kenyan superstars. They'll rise to the top, they'll have a few years there, and then they're gone.
Everything that you see here right now is a result of my running in America. What I did was to support my brothers and sisters. I gave them money to plant corn. So I planted this for them. So I leased the land from my uncle, and I bought seed for them and fertilizer and all that. So at the end of the year, they will harvest it and it becomes theirs. So when they come asking me for money, I tell them, I'll do a project for you so that you don't ask me for money anymore. All the time they tell me you need to invest for yourself. You need to spend time doing stuff for yourself. But I tell them, this is what God has put in my heart, to be able to help other people. This hospital was started like 10 years ago, but because of lack of funds, it wasn't complete until 2 years ago when I came here and I went and took over the completion of construction.
Okay, let us pray. God our Father, I
remember when my brother died, there was no hospital close by.
we want to thank you for our friends.
That's why really it pushed me so much to want to provide them with a hospital and the ambulance. As I left this country a couple of years ago,
and I went overseas for studies. I promise you guys that I'll come back, and I'll come back a better person because of what the foundation that you guys had given me. Last time I was here, I asked you guys for your prayers when I was going to run in Boston. I asked you guys to pray for me, and you did pray for me, and I did well. I also asked you today that you pray for me every day from now until Chicago Marathon so that I can do the will of God when I run Chicago. So today we are planning to go about 20 to 22 miles. This is about 7,000 feet above the sea level. Very hard, so when I have good runs when I'm running here, when I'm running Chicago, I always think about it. I'm like, okay, I survived in Kenya, my long run in Kenya. So it gives me motivation to run through those streets of Chicago. As a competitive runner, you put your body into another state that is very, very difficult and very hard. So when you put your faith in it, that you can do it, it makes everything different because it changes the perspective of why you're doing what you're doing.
It's about that moment and what's happening around you, the surroundings. It's like nothing else exists.
That's to me what the magic is about, when your conscious self is overwhelmed by your physical activity.
You're stripping away all the excesses of life. You're getting down to this pure experience. It's like going through a tunnel that gets narrower and narrower until all you're thinking about is whether you can take the next step. And when you finish, you're exhausted, but you've gone to another place.
You guys are witnessing history already made. That's the fastest 20 miles I've ever done in altitude, and I felt amazingly good. I think I'm going to suggest to coach that we go for the record. I think I'm feeling confident. I don't want to be too overconfident, but the way my body is responding, I think I'm in good form to go for it. So, but until it happens. But for now, I think I'm very confident that I'll be going for it. Hey, you finally found you. Yeah, what's up, old man? When do you leave tomorrow? I leave very early in the morning. Oh, okay. You seen the workouts that I've been popping out? Have you checked out my last one? I don't know what's going on, but I think we are breaking records. I do. I know what's going on. What is it? You're almost 30. Almost 30. You're coming into your own. I'm getting in there. Hey, old man. Have a good one? Yeah. Good.
The thing is, you need to remember what got you where you're at and don't worry about, because there's a lot of hype about Chicago now. What got us here is this right here. You take care of this, the rest takes care of itself.
Yeah.
It's no different. This is the same mile reps that you ran the last 8 years. Don't worry about it. Those two trees have not moved, Wesley. Just feel the move. Just set it up easy, feel the flow.
All right, the first one will be
relaxed.
Relaxed.
He's at a place where I've never seen him before, and he knows it and I know it. Where that goes, who knows? That's beyond our scope. Okay? All right, ready, hop.
Here we go,
Set it up. Nice and relaxed.
You know, people say, okay, last year in Chicago, I was lucky to get second. Like, I went to Boston, I won. People say, hey, that was the weather. Winning Boston was a fluke. I want to go to Chicago to validate myself.
38-39. Right on it. Ready, hop. Set it up now, set it up. What I look for is more the movement than anything else. Look at his turnover, the way that he moves, and it's just so fluid, so easy. There's the technology of it, and there's no question about that. You know, you saw that in the Olympic Games and Mo Farah and Galen Roop. Wesley's been given that same talent. Now, granted, he's worked on it, but it's certainly God-given. There we go. 28, 29, 30, 31.
What are you on?
Yeah.
Hey.
Nice. Keep it smooth now. Keep it smooth. Don't get too excited too early. That's where it's supposed to be. 36, 37, 38. Okay. That's it. It's okay? How'd that feel? Now drop it down to about 34, 35. And then we'll let it go. Then we'll let it go. Right on into it. Take it right on in. I got it. .245, 46, 47. Pretty good. The job is to win Chicago. Now, the course record's 205.38, so put it at 205. I want to put him in a position where he can strike, but not in a position where it strikes him. One more. You got it. You got it. Nothing to it now. Now set your last one up. If you could teach kids to stay in the moment, that's their biggest fear. They start hurting, and they don't enjoy the hurt. They wish it away. And what they really should do is relish that hurt, because that's where the training comes, because we were never promised a rose garden. Ready, up?
Come on, come on.
Now, set it up now, set it up now. I don't believe in luck. I believe in direction, and the direction that he is going, he's poised to do great things on the marathon course and in life. All right, now, come on, Wesley. There you go, there you go, there you go. Smooth pop, 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 pop. 34, 35, 36. Good.
Continue.
Well, 4:30, huh? We'll take it all day long. Take that all day long.
Like, where are you in the process of becoming an American? I mean, I'm assuming you're in that process. Are you or no?
I have a green card, so that means I'm in that process. But, you know, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what is going to happen in the next years. I don't know what is going to happen next year. There's a lot of things that I'm interested in doing right now. And
like what?
Like going back home and helping people back home and doing all these things that I'm doing. So I think, honestly, being an American is not my #1 priority. I always say running is not my destiny. Running is just my stepping stones towards where God wants me to be. And, you know, I don't know what that is. They claim that it's the deepest and the hardest field I've ever assembled in Chicago. So it's definitely nerve-wracking and scary. But I think to be the best, you have to beat the best. I would like to go out there and really have a good one, to show people that I've trained for it, and to show people that really it's not luck.
The second place finisher of the 2011 Bank of America Chicago Marathon and 2012 Boston Marathon champion from Kenya, Wesley Korir.
Chicago Marathon is underway. You were looking at the lead men, the elite field of men. Wesley Korir, who was second here a year ago in the yellow top, and he's looks very, very, very comfortable right now.
Wesley Korir in particular said he just wants to get comfortable, let those early miles go by as easily as possible. He showed at Boston that he can do a come-from-behind effort, but he will be in that lead pack the whole time.
Well, they're just beginning to accelerate now. The last 3 miles, 4:45, 4:50, 4:48. They're beginning to dial down, as you put it, Ed, towards course record tempo. They're on schedule now for something just outside 2:06.
I tried to stay in the moment. One thing that coach always tells me when I'm running, he always tells me, be dumb and run. Just be dumb and run. Just clear everything. Don't think about you're running 26.2 miles. Don't think about the 26th mile when you are in the second mile. Clear that off. You know, just stay in the moment, stay at that moment, and just let your body move.
It's about who can switch off the best for the longest period of time. And I guess, like, at the end of the day, he should win the race.
Running is not sprinting where you just throw it all out there, right? You unspool your effort over the span of whatever it is, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. And the calculation of what the maximum sustainable effort is something, to my mind, so magical.
Pure running is timelessness. There is no time. Everybody that's ever talked about their flow experience when they've set world records, they didn't even know where they were. There's a point where the pain just starts to dissolve, and you can transcend the pain through going inward and focusing on realizing that, hey, it's all inside, whether I'm getting it from a higher power and it's coming inside myself and outside myself, but there's a synergy where the thoughts begin to slow down. And that's the transcend moment. That's the flow.
The gap is opening. Kennedy with a slight look over his shoulder. Well, Wesley Korir has been dropped, and it's now 4 Ethiopians clear.
I don't know where those miles and kilometers went. They went so fast. I wanted more distance. I felt like the world hurried up so much. I felt like it was just going too fast for me.
Tige Kabede from Ethiopia has done it.
It's Ragasa's made the turn.
The first the Kenyan police officer, Sammy Kitwara. And Wesley Korir, he was one of the favorites to win this thing in his 5th consecutive Chicago Marathon. He was hoping that this would be the year, but unfortunately, the Ethiopians dominated the race.
Wesley Korir, the 2012 Boston Marathon winner. He was second here last year. Wesley Korir, Kenya, also across the finish line.
Wesley.
Here, keep this blanket up. Keep this blanket up. Keep this on.
Congratulations.
All right, good. Congratulations. Good job, buddy. Oh, good. Still PB. What's that?
The top 3 broke the close record over.
Yeah.
Crushed it.
Top 3. 4th was just over at 58.
And so what happened today is the fastest time ever run on U.S. soil.
Really?
Good journey. Good journey. I think I had a mental breakdown. I just thought that, it's just that feeling of I am not enjoying this anymore. And that shows how marathon is a mental thing. You might be physically there, but if you're not mentally there, you're not going anywhere. secret, I'm done. That's it. I think there was a point I came and I made that decision when I was running. And I was like, it's not mine anymore.
Yeah, listen, to give each of his
anymore.
To keep him in.
I used to know that people in Cherangani need help. I used to know that people in Kenya need help. But I didn't know the capacity or the intensity of the help and the need. And when I see all this, running is nothing. That pain that you go through in running is nothing compared to all this.
On the sort of general life scheme of things, running is a fundamentally trivial task. And every runner faces that question of, hold on, why am I spending 20 hours a week running and stretching?
It's always tempting for runners to see in their running a kind of broader template for their life.
If you want to shift your emphasis to another part of your life, you have the same capacity. You've enhanced it through your running, and you're able to put it into your business, you're able to put it into your lifestyle, you're able to put it into your work.
When Wesley came back from abroad, he came and told me that he wants to gun for parliamentary seat in Cherangani. But when he told me, I was kind of shocked because I could not reconcile how an athlete who was in his prime or is in his peak can move from that to go into something, a territory that is muddled with a lot of uncertainty.
Wesley aliniuliza yeye mwenyewe, baba, nataka kwenda siasa. Mimi nikamwambia yeye, wewe ungetembea na mkuu yako ili yenue patu yenue sisi na yenue watoto nyumbani. Akaniambia, kwa ukweli baba, mimi nakuombea hivi, talanta yangu ile Mungu amenipa, nikifa sasa Mungu ataniuliza, nilikupa talanta na hukutumikia.
He felt that he was called to get into politics at this time of his life. And so it wasn't something that I wanted to tell him, no, you shouldn't do this, because I knew that it was something he's passionate about. And Wesley's never really thought about all the practical reasons. If he's felt called to do something, he'll follow through with it, despite what you might think is the practical thing to do.
This is one question I asked my coach was, in the next 10 years, will I be more beneficial as a human being, as an American athlete, selfish American athlete, or will I be beneficial, hypothetically speaking, as a president of Kenya, being able to be in a position to change the lives of people in Kenya? I'm competing with a competitor who is an incumbent, who has been working for the last 5 years, making so much money, and he's in a party that is very rich.
The kind of politics that this country we are used to is politics where it is managed by the big boys, people who have gone ahead and amassed some good money, and they're coming back to distribute that same money is what people are used to.
25, 046, 545.
Kenyans are never used to having candidates running without parties. Most amazing thing is that he was the first one to say, I'll not be aligned to any political party.
He is talking to the people of Cherangani, and he wants them to vote him in as Wesley. Yeah, so a lot of people are also coming in to find out what kind of heart does this guy have.
I felt like the gun had been shot. The marathon had started, and there was no turning back again.
Kabla wanishike watakuwa washahema, tuliza boss, acha nye. Ninachapa, siye tunatapa, vitu tunatoa graba, mtafumopa.
Alama yangu ni nini? Alama yangu ni nini? Ubunge. Kukumbuke Wesley Korir, alama ya mahindi, tulete maendeleo. Asante sana. Gonna love us in the stereo, adjust your area.
The culture of paying people during campaigns has been embedded, and it is deeply rooted in the culture and the political system of this country. I think it is out of being overwhelmed by the challenges of life, food, access to health, access to social amenities. So that's what is making people really look for handouts. So Wesley just coming today as a one person, he may not be able to fight that culture and do away with it immediately.
Mara, wakili wekte ambulance yende nyumbani. What is ambulance? Kwani ambulance ni hawezi? Wacha aya ngebe. Nani ambulance hiyo haki? Hiyo ambulance imeshapeana kitambo. Sasa tunatembea na ambulance nini? Haistahili kutembea nayo. Haistahili kutembea nayo kampi.
Mama kando yake tu, kando karibia kwa mlango.
Wewe nani Dennis? Ngute biwe. Ngute bi.
When he came, he was very green. First of all, there were a lot of things that he had to put in place. Before we went for our first road show through the constituency, it wasn't in my mind that he was going to win.
Na watu man. Nasikia? Utukana kwa nini?
What I saw in the first day convinced me that actually there's a possibility that he was going to win.
I didn't want to get into arming my people. I told them, there's no need to be armed. We prayed and hoped God was keeping us safe. But also we were in numbers. We tried to stay in numbers so that if one of us was attacked, we can have somebody else to help.
Wakuimba akikuja kutoka Senda Mwaita. Akisema Kituny. Mimi ndio hiyo niliko kwa faranda, mimi nilikuwa na mwenzangu huyo. Nikasema Wesley tosha. Ikakuta watu akaanza kunishika hapo. Kunipiga mpaka nitolewa mimi manguo, mpaka hata nilienda uchi. Nilibebwa kwa watu ambao walinisaidia ni huyo na pasta wa jirani. Akasema iko ruhusa gani ya kuumiza mtu, ya kuua? Kama iko makosa, simpelekeni kwa mkasa. Ili mkasa ajue makosa yenye hii mtu anafanya. Kufika kwa mkabada ananipiga tu. Ngine anasema tupeleke huko mtoni tuchinje hii mtu. Naonekana hii mtu ni Wesley.
Kwa hivyo na furaha kuu sana kufika hapa siku ya leo, ikiwa ni siku ya mwisho ya kampeni. Hakuna kitu muhimu kama amani. Tafadhali naomba sana kwamba tarehe 4 ikifika, tupige kura yetu kwa amani, tuchague viongozi ambao wataongoza vyema. Asante sana, asante sana.
It's not
tribalism. And in fact, he's trying to bring our place at a level such that he doesn't favor any tribe within this place. As you know, in 2008, we had some clashes within this area. But Wesley is trying to make people to come together.
He has a chance because he stands for unity of the people of Cherangani constituency, which for the last 5 years has not been united before. It was getting more and more disintegrated in the tribal lines.
You know, my estimate and my guess was all this is going to take only $30,000, which I was ready for it, but unfortunately it's taking about 4 times that. I feel like it's a calling that I have to do the will of God, but I think it's just going to be hard. But when I look at my life, nothing has been easy. It's just been all hard, and it's just hard. It's extremely, extremely hard. Especially when I think the worst part of it is as much as I tried to help, as much as I tried so much I've done so much for the people, but my opponents are discrediting what I've done, and they're using so much, if you hear what they're saying about it, it just makes me sick. It just makes me sick, because why is a human being who has been there in the office for the last 5 years, has done nothing, and yet I've done what I can with my own ways and means, and he spends time going around there lying to people, and it's unfortunate that some people are accepting the lies. There's times that I've thought about it. I'm like, man, why did I do this? I should have just lived my life and enjoyed it. And I'm just afraid of the shock if I lose this thing. You never know how you love something until it's taken away from you. Right now, I feel like running has kind of been taken away. I try to get in runs as much as possible. And honestly, when I get that run in and when I go out there and run, I love it. Especially when I can sneak out and just go run by myself without anybody following me, which will last for only a few minutes before there's a bunch of cars or motorbikes following me. That moment of just being by myself and being in peace again, honestly, I can't wait for this to be over and get back to it, and just run, no matter what happens.
Na this time, Mungu wetu tunaomba kwamba utupatie viongozi ambao wanakuokoka na wanajua neno lako. Utusaidie viongozi ambao wanatambua siri ya ufalme wa Mungu. Utupatie viongozi ambao wataheshimu kanisa. Utupatie viongozi ambao wataheshimu Wakristo. Utupatie viongozi ambao wataheshimu wanadamu ambao waliumbwa kwa mfano wako. Na utupatie viongozi ambao wataunganisha nchi yetu, ili Mungu wetu tuweze kukaa katika nchi ya amani. Mungu wetu hatuchoki kukumbusha yale shida ambayo tulipitia mwaka wa 2007. Lakini vile niliwaambia ni kwamba kiongozi ni Mungu anamchagua, na tayari Mungu amechagua kiongozi. Kwa hivyo sisi tunangojea tu celebrate na tuambie Mungu asante kwa kazi ambayo amefanya.
I think when I left this country, I left by body, but my heart was left here. So I had to come back and look for my life, for my heart. so that my life can be complete. So I came back to look for my heart, and my heart is with the people of Kenya, with the people of Cherangani, and with the people of Africa.
Kwa maana maisha yetu ijayo inategemea uamuzi ambao utafanya Jumatatu. Nikumbukeni nihakikisha kwamba mahospitali yetu yametengenezwa vizuri, na pia mnikumbuke tuhakikisha kwamba nimeleta ambulance moja, ambulance zingine 3 ziko njiani zinakuja, ambayo itasaidia watu wa Cherangani yetu. Nyinyi muone kazi ya ambulance imeshafanya. Ninawaambia kwamba mtu usidanganye. Wengine wanasema ati sijui Wesley Korir ameleta ambulance, anataka nyinyi mkonjeke. Yaani ambulance inaleta ugonjwa. Ni kama kusema kwamba mkijenga hospitali watu wanakuwa ugonjwa. Kwa hivyo mimi nasema kwamba mimi ni independent candidate. Mimi hakika nawaambieni kwamba sijatumwa na mtu yote. Mimi si project ya mtu yote. Mimi ni kijana ambaye nimejitoa kuja kusaidia na Cherangani.
Thế là tôi boleh. Nah, ini boleh ya. There was that fear of what if the 2007 came back. I realized it would be easy for me to get out of there by myself than to have my family there, and especially with my daughter. So the fact that the fear of 2007 was still in me because of what I experienced that time was the main reason why I let her leave 2 days before the election. Thank you. The only difference between these and the race is, race you have to do the work yourself to the finish. This one is you've done the work and other people have to finish it up for you. So now I'm just waiting for people to finish it.
I am currently at Kipkeke High School. This is the talent center for Cherangani constituency. And looking at the way things are here, it's going to take quite some time before the final results are known.
Declaration of member to the National Assembly election results at Kipkeke Primary School. The number of valid votes cast in favor of each candidate: Alfred Kadimas, 0. Kibebe Wafula, 3. John Karamaja, 0. Joshua Kutuny, 210. Shedrack Kirop, 4. Wesley Kipchumba Korir, 407. The National Assembly election results at Taito Primary School. Joshua Kutuny Serem, 510. Wesley Kipchumba Korir, 78. Declaration of member of the National Assembly election results at Marula Primary School. Joshua Kutuny, 102. Wesley Kipchumba Korir, 240. So I would like, ladies and gentlemen, to take this opportunity to announce the election results for Cherangani constituency. Alfred Sahani Kadima, 141. Joshua Kutun Serem, 17,514. Wesley Korir.
Will he be the legislative equivalent of a Boston Marathon champion? You know, the odds are even longer than winning the Boston Marathon. But for Wesley, if he can harness that sort of perseverance and hard work and all the other cliches that are rightly associated with running, then he has a good chance of making a difference. I think for Wesley, finding a way to give his life meaning outside of running may be the best thing that's possible for his running.
The TV stations wanted to know, am I going to keep running? And when they realized I'm still training, most of the TV stations were coming over. All wanted to be part of that historical movement of the first ever active athlete to go to Parliament. I think the word Boston Marathon right now creates a lot of fear in me. I think, honestly, when I think about it, it is one word, one name that makes my blood and my heart beat faster.
So I was joking with my driver. I was like, so what do we call Wesley now? Is he like Sir Wesley or Presidente Wesley?
I have a card that says Honorable Wesley.
Honorable Wesley. There you go.
You're always going to be royalty in Boston anyway.
I feel like this marathon has come so quick because I've been so busy. And it's the beauty of it, I feel like I am not... If I was really the normal focusing, thinking about this marathon, I would be so scared. And I'd be so worried because, dude, I'm not in shape. In paper, I know that I'm not in shape. So I'll be the most worried man. Because, dude, you're not in shape and you're going to run with people that are really in good shape.
I honestly don't know what's going to happen. He's been running 30 miles a week, and the rest of these guys have been running 120 plus miles a week. I'm scared for him.
Defending champion and honorable member of parliament, Wesley Korir.
I don't run for myself anymore. I run for the whole country.
And there they go.
Wesley Korir has not been heard from. He's happy to maintain this pace. I don't think this is a guess, is in quite the shape he was in last year or in Chicago when he ran 2:06 last year, past the halfway point. 1 hour, 4 minutes and 44 seconds, setting up, I think, some searing kilometer and mile splits later in this race, even in the Newton Hills.
Coming here, I knew I was good for half marathon. My short runs were good, but I had not tested myself. So after I passed half marathon, I was like, okay, this is where my confidence now ends. I had a guy that was biking next to me, and he kept telling me how far behind I was. And I remember he would start, he was like, we were 10 seconds behind. and he came all the way to like 50 seconds behind. All of a sudden, I was like, you know what? Don't say you can catch up. You can do this. You can do this.
In the marathon, every mile is a different life. 1 mile you're dead, 1 mile you come back to life. And so you're weathering that storm.
I heard people shouting, Cherengani, Cherengani. You know, it got me back. And I was like, okay, one more time for Cherengani.
You can probably see him just off camera a little bit. That guy coming up, he's about 7 seconds back right now. He's defending champion Wesley Korir, who at the 20-mile mark was 18 seconds down. By my calculations now, as we just hit 22 miles, he's about 7 seconds back.
I was really sprinting to catch up, and when I got up with them, I just kept going. So that just made me believe that you can never give up. Always fight. You know, in Chicago, I gave up, completely gave up. But here, I didn't give up. I kept fighting and kept fighting and came back.
Race dwindles down from 5 and then 6 to now maybe 3.
Korir now falling off the back of that bus.
Alyssa DeSissa is the 2013 Boston Marathon champion.
And this is Wesley taking 5th, the defending champion.
I've never seen it at this level. I mean, to be 5th at the Boston Marathon with almost no training, I didn't think it was possible.
I feel like I proved that to myself and to everybody that Wesley Korir is not done yet. Don't count him out.
I ran like a champion today, man. Dude.
Amazing. Great to see. Great to see.
That's amazing. I'm very happy. I'm happy than the person who won right now.
We don't know why we do many things in life because they're inherent. They're in our person. They're in our energy.
The ability to run at long distances is what distinguishes us from all other species. Nobody else does this. It goes to the very core of our kind of humanness.
You're chasing something it's not visible. You have to have a lot of faith and hope that you're going to get there. It's an invisible path, you know, there's many ways to take, and you just hope you're going to take the right one.
The beauty of believing in something larger than yourself and incorporating faith into your running is that you're engaged in something that's magical, and that's sort of transcendent. You're venturing something significant every time you go out for a run, and you have to believe that the sacrifices you're making at the beginning will be honored at the end.